I think with me, I think my build-in today is the fact that it's like 95 degrees in the room I'm filming in.
Oh, Jesus.
It's very uncomfortable.
You had a recent haircut, at least.
Yeah, I'm looking for a fan.
Well, we
Or
have
we all.
well, we have 30,000 people who might be fans, but we won't know because they never comment or like.
Yeah, that's because they live in a different language.
What's the language?
Hindi.
Oh, we have many overseas fans.
Well, I would like to welcome everyone from India who's
I'd
watching us
like to
today.
welcome everyone who took the time out to click play and still has it and is too lazy to click stop.
Yeah. But especially the people in India.
Especially those
I'm
people in
giving a
India
shout
who
out, Dan. I'm giving a shout out. You can give shout outs to specific people
okay.
and not offend everybody. It's not
Right.
like the people in North Dakota think I hate them because I'm giving a shout out to India.
Wait, you don't hate the people in North Dakota? Okay,
No.
good.
No, I never actually said those words.
You just said now.
No, I didn't say I hate the people in North Dakota. I just said that I'm
North
giving a shout out to the people in India.
Right.
So thank you.
Thank you, people in India.
I'm gonna
I'd
hold
like
on.
to give a special. I'd like to give a special shout out to all of our fans in South Dakota.
You hate the people in North Dakota. I
No.
see what's going on here.
No, I actually like the people. Oh, I don't know any people in North Dakota, but I'm sure they're all fine individuals.
I
Just
want
trying.
I want to say namaste to everyone in India today.
Oh, okay. Well, namaste.
Namaste.
But you're gonna type it though, huh? Instead of saying it.
No, I said it. I just now said it.
Okay. Oh,
I
I
said
thought, I
namaste.
thought the important thing you were
All
doing was typing
I
it.
was making sure that namaste was hello and not like be at peace or anything like that.
I believe it means something to the effect of "the light in me greets the light in you."
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, there's a good question for all of our fans in India to please respond in the comments and
Yeah.
let us
Are we
know.
correct?
Are we correct?
Yeah.
Saying in Dan, are we? I didn't say that it meant.
Is Dan correct or is John correct about the meaning of namaste?
Yeah,
See, you turned it into a contest. I just was trying to tell you that it was a nice thing.
it is a well. Okay, so if
If Dan's correct, comment and you'll win 1,000 points.
1,000 points, if I'm correct, comment and you win 18,424 points.
Yes. Now there's no motive for anyone to say the incorrect thing.
Well, there might be bonus points involved if they pick you.
Right.
If you're right.
Yeah. So I'm Dan Carlson, one half of Two Cab Men.
And I'm John Kinoff, the other half of Two Kept Men.
And this is
Shudder Club.
watched Prince of Darkness.
I have. I've watched Prince of Darkness. Did you watch Prince of Darkness?
I did about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, I watched it about that same
2 weeks, yeah.
And I've seen it several times.
So have I. And
Yeah.
what is your estimation of Prince of Darkness?
My estimation of Prince of Darkness?
Yeah, how much esteem do you grant it?
I really love the story. I think that it could have been filmed better, but I really did love the story.
Really? I felt the story was weak, and I felt it was filmed incredibly well.
I thought that the Lovecraftian value of the Prince of Darkness was incredible. It really, I love it when normal people get involved in trying to solve a cataclysmic event. That is the heart of Lovecraftian, in my opinion.
It's interesting. Carpenter's movies are often called Lovecraftian.
Well, John Carpenter himself said that he's a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan,
Yeah.
and that he really enjoys the genre. So it's no doubt a derivative of, it's something he has in mind when writing his stuff.
Well, so back in 1987 when this came out, quantum physics was just kind of entering the mainstream a little bit. It wasn't a huge thing yet, and I guess Carpenter was reading about the what's that collider called where they try to measure the God particle? It's like in Sweden or something.
The
Hadron Collider
the
or
God gas pedal.
oh, the God gas pedal.
Isn't that it?
Yeah, it's the God gas pedal.
It's the
So the scientist who was talking about building that back in the 80s was writing these books, and Carpenter read a few of them, I guess, or was following
yeah.
his work, and he was inspired by that. And darkness takes place in a church. There's a 13-minute opening credits sequence where we see a pastor die, a priest die, and then Donald Pleasance, another priest, finds a secret that priest was hiding.
Yeah.
And goes to a physics professor who is kind of studying and teaching quantum physics, and asks him to scientifically measure what's going on in the church, because there's a strange green tube in the basement that's swirling an unknown liquid.
Canister.
And yes, a canister. And there's strange things like lots of ants on the ground and weird sun shots. And Alice Cooper shows up as a homeless person staring at the church.
Yeah.
So Pleasance wants to get to the bottom of all this.
Right. And yeah. Okay. So I kind of want to touch on that. The canister obviously houses the Prince of Darkness, houses the son of the devil, and somehow he has connected with all these homeless people.
Yes.
And begun to control them. The future people have begun to transmit backwards.
Yes, people in the future are transmitting video messages that are received by our brains as dreams.
Right.
Warning that in the year 1999.
Yeah.
Something terrible is going to happen, and we should try to prevent it.
Right. And so you have two forces: humanity and
time-traveling humanity, regular humanity, and demonic.
That's three.
Anti-matter demons. The movie kind of posits God as like in the atoms and controlling, talks about God at sort of the subatomic level. It gets into so the weird thing is that the movie is actually about two kinds of faith, the Christian faith, and then it's also about science. And most movies are about science and faith kind of fighting, but in this case, it's actually looking at how they're similar, because in science, when you get to the subatomic level, science itself breaks down and you start talking very much like a faith-based subject. And it's kind of got that going on, although much of it is in the background while you're watching basically another John Carpenter Siege movie.
Yep.
So the priest, Donald Pleasance, goes to the college and asks Dennis, what's the guy's name? Victor Wong, the Chinese guy that was in Big Trouble in Little China.
Yep.
If he could get together a crew of students and they could analyze what's going on in the church to see if they could somehow bring to the public some sort of proof of what's going on. And they all agree. They kind of hang out in the church with their lab equipment and measure things, and they talk in circles a lot about hypothetical possibilities. This is one of the things that you were kind of criticizing, and I can kind of see a lot of times it's just like they're just spitting out exposition, and
Yeah,
then they're assuming that it's true. They don't even test it to see if it's true. They just go, and then this, and then this. That is
right. Yeah,
one of the flaws.
yeah. There is a lot of meandering when it comes to the story moving ahead. I mean, okay, I don't even want to say that. I don't want to say that the pace was off. I don't want
Oh,
to
it's a
say.
good movie. I mean, it's well
Yeah, I
paced, I
mean,
think.
it's hard. I hate to criticize it at all, except
Yeah,
for the fact that it's dated because it was filmed when it was filmed, with the equipment it was filmed with, and
it still
uh,
looks beautiful
the acting was good. Um, with
considering
some,
what they had to
with
remember.
some with huh?
Considering all the theoretical stuff they had to remember.
Yeah, but it was good. There's just, I love the movie. There's just something about it that seems a little off,
I'd agree with that.
and I just can't put my finger on it. It seems like the acting is maybe.
The acting is good, but it's a very specific style. It's not it's very heightened. It's not really campy, but it's really at a almost
Okay.
operatic level, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. So the homeless zombie people, those people, it seemed pretty campy.
Oh, I
Um,
didn't think so.
there
I mean,
wasn't. I don't think there was a lot of direction for the extras.
I thought the homeless zombie, especially Alice Cooper, were
Well,
pretty creepy.
because he was a featured homeless guy.
Do you want to? Do you want to?
So they gave him fine direction, but
Yeah.
the extras, I don't think received the direction that they needed to properly execute what they were doing.
Oh, okay.
It's like
I don't
in
know
a
that.
zombie movie, you have 300 extras all in a zombie horde, and you just say, do this. And everybody has their own idea of what this is. So everybody kind of puts their own spin on it, which gives individuality to each of the extras. Great. But if everybody's not of the same exact motivation, and if everybody's not told what to avoid in their acting, then inevitably you're going to have some people looking at the camera. You're going to have some people
Oh,
smiling. You're
I
going
didn't
to
notice
have
any of that, but
no. I'm just giving examples.
okay.
You're going to have some people looking at the camera and smiling or whatever, and then you're going to have some people way off base because they're trying to be different, and all that kind of stuff. Where if you have an assistant director who's watching. Specifically watching the extras, and making sure that everybody's on the same page, you get a better performance from the ambience of the world. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me, but I don't. I guess I wouldn't personally apply it to this movie. Didn't notice that flaw, or but
Okay.
I wasn't looking for it. So maybe you're. I mean, you could be onto
Well, okay.
something that I.
One specific scene, for example, really always bugs me, and that is when the guy jumps out the window in the alley, and the
They start coming toward him.
are coming towards him, and he's just kind of like bouncing around like he's a scared monkey, and then jumps back in the window.
I love that scene.
You do?
Yeah,
It's just really
it's really
poorly executed, I think.
really. I thought it was very suspenseful.
I didn't.
It really showcases the music at that moment too. It gets really.
It showcases the music
boom,
just fine,
boom.
but I mean, if he was actually in that situation, there were 2 or 3 other escape routes that would have been much faster than just like freaking out.
Well, they were
screaming at him out the window.
they were stuck in that spot though. There was no other way out but that window.
Yeah, but he could have just climbed that fence and gone over. He didn't have to just stay down there. The fence was right there in reach. He could have just grabbed the fence, climbed the fence, and jumped over and been out of the situation. But that's what I mean when I say some things were just a little off. It's like they didn't think about what it was going to look like for anybody who's really analyzing what they're seeing. It's like, dude, just go jump over the fence. You're fine. And then they can't get to you.
Okay.
So that kind of stuff is what bothered me a little bit. It's like it was maybe maybe just a little bit sloppily directed.
Whoa, I would say completely the opposite. but okay. I think if this movie has any strength, and I think it's a good movie, I enjoy it. It's actually one of my favorite John Carpenter movies.
It's one of my favorite John Carpenter movies.
Okay.
I love it.
But I think its strength is its direction and its music.
And for the most part, I would agree with you. I think that the direction was great. It was on point, but I think in some places it was a bit sloppy.
Okay, well, you didn't like that moment, and understandable. So Alice Cooper got his role because Carpenter met him at a WWF match, and Cooper came up to him and said, "I want to be in one of your movies." And Carpenter said, "Only if you bring some of your gore effects with you." So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Cooper brought with him that bicycle or whatever that guy gets impaled with. That was actually part of Cooper's stage show.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Alice Cooper's a pretty fucking cool guy.
He's pretty neat, and he's he comes with he could just show up and be a villain. He doesn't have to do anything, and he doesn't do much.
No
he really
makeup.
doesn't.
He's like Max von Schreck in Nosferatu. No makeup.
You're right. And he really didn't do much of anything. He just stared at the camera.
He's a scary guy.
Yeah. What about Donald Pleasance? He was pretty good in this.
I thought all of the premier actors were the principal actors were fantastic.
Yeah. To talk about all this theoretical stuff and keep us interested is it's an actor's job more than a writer's job.
Yeah. So okay. So what I think I remember what I was going to say earlier, that what I really find fascinating about this movie is that it combines things that really wouldn't be needed for the story to play out well, but for people who really enjoy the types of films that I enjoy and the types of stories that I enjoy and the way that they play with the weird. My thoughts are coming together. I've been kind of like I've been circling and it's coming together, but what it is
sort of like the green liquid.
Yeah. I always look at films with that eye when I watch horror films. Being as big of a Lovecraft fan as I am, I always look at a movie with that little bit of, is this Lovecraftian? Could I call this a Lovecraftian film, or is this not a Lovecraftian film? And I like them, and that doesn't influence how much I like a movie.
Would you say that this is probably the most Lovecraftian movie we've reviewed on the show, or it blew my mind?
No. This is most definitely the most Lovecraftian film that we have reviewed on this show. And that's where I was going with it, is that it combines this kind of unnecessary future humanity projecting back these images of something bad that's going to happen in 1999. The movie could have played out just fine, and the story would have been perfectly intact without any of that stuff.
But it was it was a nice little bit of flavor there.
The fact that it's there makes it so Lovecraftian that it just wasn't necessary. But there's this cosmic weirdness about it that, not only did they find this canister in this abandoned church that everything
2,000 years old.
Yeah. 2,000 years old.
You know what that means.
Right. It's okay. So my theory, if I may be so bold, is that, what is in this canister is not simply the Prince of Darkness.
Okay.
What is in this canister is the lake of fire.
Oh, see, I wasn't thinking. So
because it's 2,000 years. Let me finish my thought here, or you'll
Okay.
derail me again,
Sorry.
um, is that 2,000 years ago, when Jesus was put to death on the cross, he went to hell and snatched up the Prince of Darkness and threw him into the lake of fire. Right?
I
believe.
I don't remember much
Okay.
as far as biblical
So
teachings about what happened in hell. I just know he went to hell for 3 days.
yeah. Well, I think that is what is contained in this canister is the lake of fire and the Prince of Darkness, and that hell still exists out there somewhere, but that this specific canister was where Christ put the Prince of Darkness, and then that is what has been
And guarded for 2,000 years.
For 2,000 years, and the fact that all is the case makes it pretty fucking weird to begin with.
Yeah.
But they find this thing in the basement of this church. This priest dies, and he didn't just die. He was killed.
Was he? I just know that he stops breathing, I thought.
It was superior forces, I think.
Okay.
I felt that it was done, that he was killed by superior forces.
Okay.
And that it was done just in time to prevent him from learning what the ultimate secret, and that was, that what he was protecting was
keeping a diary.
Yeah. Right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But that the fact that it combines, like we've been saying this whole time, this whole science aspect into a very non-sciency kind of story.
Mm-hmm.
You have such a complex story here where you can take out huge aspects of it and still have a really great film.
Mm-hmm.
You can take out the whole science side of it, and you could just have religious.
Although it would be a different movie then.
It'd be a different movie, but you could still have a movie of religious people trying to use their faith in God and relics and invocations and stuff to try to contain this thing. Or you could take the religious side out of it, and you could have just a cosmic entity that was shot to earth in this canister 2,000 years ago. And the science world is trying to figure out how to properly dispose of it.
What's great is that this movie doesn't hint that there's a Jesus connection. It actually calls Jesus an alien who came to Earth to warn us. We crucified him, and so now we got to deal with the stuff. Kind of like what Prometheus did with the Alien series.
Sure. The other aspect of this movie is that it's an old film. When did it come out again?
87. Saw it in the theater with one Carrie Stello.
Okay. Almost a storybook about panentheism.
I don't know what that is.
Which is actually my faith.
Oh.
And
okay.
But no, panentheism is the belief that that God is is the universe, but is also a separate entity of its own being. So God is the universe, but he's also still God. He's also still a powerful entity, not just that the universe, because it is everything, is God. So getting back to the film, though, talking about the God particle and how down at the atomic level,
subatomic, but yeah,
subatomic level. So but all of that is God, is part of the God entity, and that the God entity is guiding us somehow still as its own thing, and that Jesus was an alien sent to Earth to warn us about this. It all fits into this kind of panentheist viewpoint. And so I'm very curious whether what John Carpenter would have to say about that theory. Is that this is basically a panentheist storybook?
I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe I have the impression that John Carpenter is atheist.
Okay,
But
so then he leans towards pantheism,
well,
where
I think he's more of a I don't. Well, he's described himself in the long term as an optimist, but in the very short term, an extreme pessimist.
yeah, and
So,
that's fine. That's fine. That makes him agnostic, really.
okay.
And a lot of agnostics are pantheists. A lot of atheists are pantheists. But because I actually still believe that there is God, like
An external intelligence,
an external being in of itself, but also encompassing the entire universe. That's panentheism. And I would love to know if John Carpenter had any of that in mind when he was writing this. So, John, if you happen to stumble across this,
if he takes a break from playing video games long enough to watch our video.
Oh, does he play a lot of video games?
He plays a lot of video games. He talks about it a lot.
Yeah. Well,
big fan.
If you happen to watch this video and you hear my question, if you were to respond to us, certainly appreciate it.
It'd be an interesting thing to talk to him about, because most people are just asking him questions about what's it like to be a legend, and so it'd be nice to hear him talking about his thoughts on things like this.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So they hint that that there's this Jesus and Satan connection, but then there's also this moment where one of the girls is possessed and she's translating the ancient text, and she starts randomly typing things, and it says, "You will not be saved by the god plutonium. You will not be saved by the Holy Ghost. In fact, you will not be saved," which always gets me, and it's always kind of creepy. I don't know.
Yeah, I always like depictions of old computers.
Yeah, and the fact that they were able to do, I mean, the old computers seem to have better abilities than our new ones.
Yeah, especially when predicting our demise.
Yes, I mean, well, if you think about it, they put men on the moon with computers that are way less advanced than the ones we're filming this podcast on.
Yeah, and there was that probe that just crashed, that they just purposely crashed into Saturn recently.
Oh.
That was running on computers that weren't even as advanced as a Commodore 128.
Well, another moment that kind of rubbed me, I wouldn't say rubbed me the wrong way, but I thought was weird, is they start talking about tachyons as like something that sends the dream to the past brain or whatever. And
that
the
makes
guy,
sense to me.
It does make sense, but they mention it, and then the guy's just like, "Oh yeah, that's what it is." It's not like it could be this. It's just like, "Oh well, that's what it is." We just have to operate from that presumption.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you mean though.
Yeah, so I totally like the idea. I just, I want to see some testing of it, or I know they're in a chase. There's not a lot of real testing.
Yeah.
But don't just float a theory and then just say, okay.
Yeah, I would have been fine with this movie being like 4.5 hours long.
I think you could make. In fact, Shudder's talked about making it a series. I wonder.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See, I could see that being I could have seen it being like a limited series.
I love the music. I
man.
I know that it's only like basically 3 notes played over and over, and they get louder and quieter.
Yeah.
But
that's okay. It's very effective.
I can tell you that in the theater, that was, even in 1987, that was really pounding in low bass.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in my theater, it was really pounding in low bass. I mean, it freaking shook the walls and
nice.
And the bed and everything else. So it was, yeah. And when I watch stuff in there on the 15-footer, I keep it hot.
Up. But so the only moment that really bothers me visually is when they're reaching into the mirror and then Satan's hand comes out. It's like obviously just like a glove, like a really bad glove, like a glove you'd get at Home Depot or True Value. Maybe they put some gunk on it.
Whatever the case, I don't think that liquid. I mean, how do I put this? The effect didn't come off very well when the arm fell back in and there were bubbles. It just that ruined that scene for me.
Oh, I didn't mind that. I just the like I said, the glove, and
Because
the
they worked so hard to make it not look like liquid when
yeah,
they're putting it through,
and then
and then the arm falls in, and it's obviously liquid because there's
yeah.
bubbles. That was a mistake.
I like this shot where the girl's head gets chopped off by Donald Pleasance and she just sticks it back on.
Yeah,
Um, although I wish she didn't. Something about it looks silly to me that she has this like kind of Hellraiser red like skinless face, but she's got this blonde wig on.
yeah, they could have gone without the wig. Like her hair could have been
Burnt or
yeah.
I don't
You know
know.
what I'm going to watch later today?
What's that?
The Thing.
So what do you think of? Would you click play on Prince of
Oh,
Darkness?
fuck yeah. Click play a few times. I mean, you really need to watch that film a few times to really get the full impact of it. Watch it loud. Do yourself a favor. But seriously, if you don't have a surround system and you have not seen this movie and you have a little bit of money, go and get a surround system before you watch this film. Set it up. Like, take off your pants and sit on the subwoofer.
Oh Jesus! Yes, this is the movie to do that with.
This is the movie to do that with, and turn it up, and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, that's a yeah. So John Carpenter, I believe, worked with Alan Howarth on the music, so we have to give him a shout out
Shout out.
because I believe Alan Howarth does all the really hard work getting the thing set up, and Carpenter comes in and plays the notes. But it's Howarth who gets all the textures and stuff going. So
Nice.
it's a collaboration,
He was the arrangement guy.
Yeah. So
Okay.
shout out to Carpenter and Howarth. Howarth. Yeah. So you click play.
Click play a bunch of times.
I'd click play as well. I've seen it several times. We'll see it several more times. And
Most definitely.